So for set 2, we are given characteristics of a hyperbola, and then we need to write the equation of the hyperbola from those characteristics. These questions are very similar to the ones that we did with ellipses. And if you recall, we always started those, I'm not going to say always, but most of those started with finding the midpoint. And most of these are going to start the same way. I don't know of a single one actually that doesn't start with the midpoint. And you're going to need that midpoint formula, and you're going to do the midpoint formula so often that you're going to get sick of it. Hopefully you remember it from when we did ellipses, and hopefully you're sick of it by now. So let's look at the steps here at the top. So we have, first you find the center HK by using the midpoint formula with the vertices, co-vertices, or foci. So you're going to be given one of the three most of the time. Then you use the vertices to find A. You use a co-vertices to find B. And then if you're given the foci, you can use that c squared equals a squared plus b squared to find the missing part. So if you're missing c, you can find it. If you're missing a or b, you can find it. And then you can determine the direction of the hyperbola, and then you write the equation. And remember, the direction of the hyperbola is whether or not the hyperbola is vertical or horizontal. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 5. And notice that the first thing we will need to do here is we will need to use the midpoint formula and the two vertices here to find the center of the circle. So we have 9, -2, and -3, -2. So the midpoint, we just take the two x's, 9 and -3, so 9 plus -3 over 2. And then we have the two y's, -2 plus -2 over 2, and then simplify. So 9 minus 3 is 6 over 2. -2 minus 2 is -4 over 2, and then we can simplify that to be 3, -2, and that's the center. And remember, center is HK. Now we need to find A and B. It says here that the length of the conjugate axis is 28. Now, if you recall from the hyperbola's notes, the conjugate axis connects the co-vertices. Now, the distance between the center and a co-vertex is B. So the distance between two co-vertices is going to have to be 2 times B. So we can infer here that B is going to have to be 14. And now we can look to our vertices to find out what A is. So if you think about just a really quick kind of sketch of a coordinate plane, your vertices here are, let me erase all that junk that I scribbled on top of them. Your vertices here are 9, -2. So we go over to 9, we go down to -2. And -3, -2. So you can see that your vertices are here and here. And the distance between those vertices is horizontal. So this is going to be a horizontal ellipse. And that would put your center here at 3, -2. And that would make your distance between the center at 3, -2 and either of your vertices a distance of 6. So A would have to be 6. And now we have everything we need. We have H, K, A, and B. And we can finally, and we also know that this is horizontal. And we can finally write our equation. So that equation comes from our equation of the hyperbola. So if you recall, we've got these two different equations for horizontal and vertical, and this is going to be horizontal, so all we have to do is substitute in what we know. We have x minus h, which is 3, squared over a squared, which is 6 squared, which is 36, minus y minus k squared, so that's, or not k squared, minus negative 2, so plus 2 squared. That comes from this minus 2 here, over b squared, which is 14 squared, 196, equals 1. So that was, that negative 3 came from that 3. Remember, you have to change the signs. This comes from this. This comes from 6 squared, and then this 196 comes from 14 squared. And all of that comes from this horizontal hyperbola formula here. All right, now let's take a look at example 6. So we start off the same way that we did the previous problem with the midpoint. And we find the midpoint by adding our x's, 3 plus negative 13 over 2, negative 9 plus negative 9 over 2. And that simplifies to negative 10 over 2 and negative 18 over 2, which then simplifies to negative 5 over, or negative 5, negative 9. So that's the center. Negative 5, negative 9. And now we know here that the length of the transverse axis is 26. And we know from your notes earlier that the length of the transverse axis is the distance between the vertices. So if the distance between the center and one vertex is a, then the distance between both vertices is going to be 2 times a. So a here is going to be half of 26, which is 13. And in order to find b, all we have to do is kind of sketch out a coordinate plane. And notice that I'm just in quadrants 3 and 4. And I've plotted my 2 co-vertices and the center. And you can see here that the distance between the center and the co-vertex is going to be 8. So you can see that distance here between negative 5 and negative 13 is 8, and the distance from negative 5 and 3 is 8. So B is 8. So we know the center, negative 5 is H, and negative 9 is K. So A is 13, B is 8, and we can now return to our hyperbola formula. We still have to figure out whether this is horizontal or vertical. So notice how my co-vertices are horizontal, which would imply that my vertices must be vertical. So this would have to be a vertical hyperbola. So we're going to need the vertical hyperbola formula. And in that formula, we have y minus k squared first. So we're going to start with y minus. K is negative 9, so minus negative becomes a positive. Squared over a squared. A is 13. 13 squared is 169. Minus x. And then x minus h. H is negative 5. Minus a negative becomes a positive, so x plus 5 squared over b squared. And b is 8. So that's going to be 8 squared, which is 64, equals 1. All right, number 7. So in number 7, we are given the 2 vertices and the 2 co-vertices. So we can start this the same way we have all of the other ones, with the midpoint to find the center using the vertices. So we've got 3 plus -5 over 2, and then we've got -3 plus -3 over 2, and that reduces to -2 over 2, and then -6 over 2, which then becomes -1, -3. So that's the center. And now we can use our vertices points and our co-vertices points to find A and B. So notice how the y of the vertices doesn't change. So if you throw it onto a coordinate plane, you can see here that since the y doesn't change, it's the x's that shift from the left to the right. So the distance between the center and each one of these vertices is a distance of 4. So that would make A 4. And then you can also see here, that the hyperbola is going to be horizontal. Because you see that line from one vertex to the other is horizontal, which is called your transverse axis. But now the conjugate axis, which is the segment connecting your co-vertices, and your co-vertices are at -1, 4, which is about here, I don't know, maybe here, and then -1, -10, which is a little down here. That's vertical, so this is obviously a horizontal hyperbola, and the distance from the center to each one of these is 7. So B is 7. And you can tell it's 7 because if your center is at -1, -3, notice all these -1s are the same, but the y's are all different. So 4 minus -3 is 7. -3 minus -10 is 7. So they have a difference of 7. Now that we know H, K, A, and B, we can now put them all into our horizontal hyperbola. So I'm going to kind of zoom a little bit above. There we go. So our horizontal hyperbola says that we have x minus h, which is -1, so plus 1 squared, over a squared, which would be 4 squared, 16, minus y minus k, which is minus a -3, so plus 3 squared, over b squared, which is 7 squared, 49 equals 1. All right, we've got one more example left in this section, and this is example 8. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip example 8 because example 8 is just like example 7. Skip me. If you would like to try example 8 for your own edification, then you are more than welcome.